Hi, I'm Andrew from HED Ireland. Thank you for this opportunity to address this room, full of people who can and do make a difference. I'm 28 years old. I've had to struggle at times in my life. The trauma of losing my mom at an early age led me into addiction. I found some real positive support back then and I got through all that. Now I'm a proud father of 2 great kids and married to a wonderful woman. I'm here today as a community activist from HED Ireland because I believe change is possible. I really want a better Europe and a more just world for my kids, without such poverty and open socio-economic discrimination. We need to break the intergenerational cycle of poverty. As we all know, this last 18 months was a difficult time for many people, particularly those who have felt excluded and were dealing with persistent struggles and worries even before the pandemic. They felt more than ever left behind. One of our projects in Ireland during the lockdown was to create an online writing group where people could share writing hopes and aspirations. It restored hope for people to be able to express themselves in a creative way through writing. We were liberated from isolation and distracted from poverty. The reason I use the word distracted is that poverty is consistent, and the writing set us free from the prison of our mind. I want to share a link in the chat to our poems, and I just want to read a bit of one poem out here. It's called Transparent. The constant mocking echoes again and again. If only silence, let peace begin. Eradicate your torment with a swipe of my pen. A little trick learned while confined to a cell. How the beauty in a poem can free one from hell. This lockdown project supported me to be here today and speak out. Finding the strength and confidence to speak out is essential, and an early step in early real partnership for creating change. This should not be overlooked. What does it mean to live in poverty? Poverty is not being able to smell the flowers because the stress of life gets in the way. The simple sentence makes us very aware of many of the issues facing people living in poverty. Poverty is a multi-dimensional issue, a lot more complex than only financial. We are facing multiple challenges simultaneously. I would like to share a link into the chat to a 3-year piece of international research by HED Fort Worth and Oxford University, The Hidden Dimensions of Poverty. This research clearly highlights key dimensions of poverty. The Hidden Dimensions of Poverty, the HED Fort Worth report. One dimension of poverty is unrecognized struggles, skills and contributions. It is especially important, and it is also mentioned in the Statement of Commerce Social Affairs Commission in Recommendation 8. Foster integral and multidimensional approaches that recognize the true value of the poor and promote their effective participation in our society. Yet we prefer to use the term people with an experience of poverty. This dimension is a key principle. I know it from experience. When I was young, I was written off by many due to my situation with addiction. But now I have defied all the odds. Now I have the skills and experience because of the struggles I went through. I have recently spoken to Irish Ministers Roderick O'Gorman and Joe O'Brien about socio-economic discrimination to build up awareness of the need of the 10th ground inequality legislation. All too often people's skills are not recognised and even ignored. This is prejudice and discrimination. It results in people in poverty feeling that they are treated like lesser human beings. Genuine participation and building trust with partnership is key. For too long we have not had a genuine seat at the tables of power. When I say genuine, I am referring to having our voices, ideas and aspirations heard, listened to and acted upon. But people with direct experience of poverty should be recognised as experts on poverty and should be included in any societal debate. We need to address this and maybe change the tables to be more accessible. The participation is essential, but it takes time and effort to build up the confidence to speak out. I would stand by many of the points made today in the Statement of Commerce Social Affairs Commission and the recommendations highlighted. But in our view, something important is missing in the Commerce statement and maybe could be added. Discrimination is part of poverty experience and should be addressed. When you live in poverty and you experience socio-economic discrimination, you don't have any real protection. Even though in Ireland we already have 9 discrimination grounds in equality legislation, we are not protected. We constantly fall through the cracks. One of our main campaigns in Ireland is to ask for socio-economic discrimination to be brought into equality legislation. Things can't move forward until we bring the socio-economic status as 10th ground. I would like to share 2 short examples from Ireland and the UK. When my wife was in hospital giving birth to our first child, the first person to visit us was a social worker. And because we had a history of addiction, the social worker came down on us pretty hard. And this really made my wife afraid that our baby would be taken away by the social worker. In the end, the social worker visited our home and everything was fine. But should this be a way you bring your first child into the world, with fear and discrimination? And this is another example. The stigma and shame of living in poverty. It actually hurts me when I'm walking down the street, and because of my appearance, because I can't go in and buy new clothes when I feel like it. And that like I actually feel people looking at me. It's not looking at me, it's actually looking at my appearance. I don't think it's fair. The effect it has on me anyway is physical and mental. The judgment hurts, the shame, it's all to me an embarrassment. We have many more real life examples like these in our Does It Only Happen to Me report on socio-economic discrimination. So in conclusion, I would like to stress that we really need to act together for change, with no one left behind, and make us again feel proud of Europe and what Europe can stand for. Thank you for listening and thank you for this experience. When I said earlier on people had written me off, I was one of them. I would have never imagined myself speaking out at an event as important as this. We are here and willing partners, so thanks for listening.